Hi there! I guess many of you have heard the myth that innovation is unmanageable chaos. But actually, the most effective innovators are following fairly structured innovation processes, which increase both the efficiency and the effectiveness of their innovation activities. The innovation process is a structured process that includes different phases, tools, and activities where the objective is to make sure that we focus on the user perspectives, address actual and important problems, and generate a wide range of ideas that can be translated into new solutions that delivers real value. In other words, it's all about helping us achieving the best results and to create as much value as possible, as quickly as possible, and by using as few resources as possible. The innovation process is divided into different phases. There's lots of different variations of the innovation process out there, but in general, they are all based on basically the same structures. In Tinker, we are using a four-phase model that includes all the elements found in the most important and widely used innovation processes. It's a model that starts with finding and defining the problem and ends with implementation and actual value creation. Although we divide the process into different phases, you will soon experience that the work is not linear. The process is flexible and fluid, moving back and forth, and new discoveries in one phase makes you see the need to rethink and redefine what you've done before. Your process will never be moving in a straight line. But understanding the goals, the tools, and the activities of the different phases will nevertheless be of great value and help you get progress in your project. In this video, I will give you a brief introduction to the four phases of the process, and more detailed presentations of the different phases can be found in additional videos. So let's begin. The first thing we need before starting the actual innovation process is a clear understanding of the goal, the value we want to create in this project. When the goal is set, we start with the innovation process. And the first phase is the insight phase. In this phase, we are making sure that we are using our resources wisely and that we are solving the right problems. To do this, we need insight. And at the end of the phase, we'll have a better insight into the actual situation on the ground, so we can choose the right problems to address, the nature and complexity of the problem, and the causes and effects. We talk to people, observe what they do, and listen to their concerns to understand how they think, feel, and act about the problem. And we need to find research and data on how others have addressed this or similar problems before. After the insight phase comes the ideation phase. And in this phase, the goal is to find new and different angles, perspectives, and potential solutions. There are literally thousands of different ideation techniques out there, and sometimes it feels like the biggest problem is to choose the right tool. But remember that your goal is not to find all the different possible angles, but to broaden your perspectives and find many new and different ways to solve the problem. After generating a great number of ideas, you'll mix and tweak them and you'll develop them further, and then you will narrow down to a few ideas, the ideas you feel have the greatest potential. Now, in the develop and test phase, which is the next phase, it's time to turn your ideas and potential solutions into actual solutions that can create real value. You need to test your hypothesis, see if the solution can be made, if it really does solve the problem, if people are willing to use it, and if it does create new problems. You can do this in many different ways, and you need to find ways that are suitable for your idea and your situation. But in general, you get the greatest value by getting out there, into the real life, to let other people interact with your solution as soon as possible, to test, observe, and learn. You can do this by making prototypes or experiments that give you the possibility to test. And it is crucial to start testing your ideas as early as possible so that if it doesn't work, you found out before you have spent too much resources and time. In the process, you will set the course, you will change the course, and every now and then even abandon your idea altogether, going back to find other potential solutions to test. As the process unfolds, you will learn which of your assumptions that holds, which part of your idea you need to rethink, and you will redesign and adjust your solution. Test it again, getting feedback until you are fairly certain that your solution can create real and important value. And then you enter the last phase, the implementation and scaling phase. And now you start to create real value. To make sure that your solution is being used, you need to make sure that people are aware of its existence, see that it solves an important problem for them, see that the value it delivers justify the resources they need to spend, and that they find it easy to implement and use. And remember, always keep in mind that your goal is to make sustainable innovations. Innovations that are designed for effective implementation and long-term value. You should also consider how to maximize the value. That is why we include scaling as part of the implementation phase. If we are making good and useful solutions to important problems, we feel that we are obliged to also consider if these solutions can deliver value to a greater number of people. So, to sum up, our innovation process has 4 phases. It's the insight phase, where we choose which problems to address and gain a greater understanding of the problem. The ideation phase, where we generate lots of potential solutions and choose which to focus on. The development and testing phase, where we, as soon as possible, make testable variations of the solutions. And finally, the implementation and scaling phase, where we ensure that our solution is actually used by as many as possible. Human beings are creatures of habit. We rely on knowledge and experiences we have accumulated. Our actions are based on patterns and habits, and this limits our perspectives and creativity. And we are prone to repeat the same tried and tested methods. The innovation process pushes us to challenge our assumptions, explore new paths, and generate new ideas and solutions. It makes us leave the office, talk to people, meet the people in dire need of new solutions, and to understand and empathize with them. This way, the innovation process helps us use less time to find new and better solutions. Solutions that delivers real value, that improves lives and makes us better equipped to meet the future. We really don't have time to wait, and we can't afford to disregard people's motivation and enthusiasm for change and urge to contribute. So let's move together and start the process of change.